Good evening, and as promised, we are here tonight at Crime TV. We have a new special guest and new reading that we're doing for Jocelyn Nungaray, and I believe that is the correct name, for the 12-year-old girl that was found murdered, and also she was essayed. And the story kind of goes like she snuck out at night to hook up with some friends or a boy, okay? I've done this reading prior, so I know a couple of details, and some new details may come up in the reading as well. I had a lot of information and a lot of answers about the two men, or should I say monsters, who actually committed this crime, okay? Y'all, I just don't know. Sometimes I get really overwhelmed about all these heinous acts that are happening against children all over the world. And it's just so unfortunate, okay? And one thing that you can't do is say, oh, it's a specific race. Oh, it's a specific age group. Oh, it's this, it's that. It could be anybody. All right? So it's just really sad and unfortunate that you can't really pinpoint it or say maybe we should look further into this. It's just there's evil people in the world. There's miserable people in the world. And that's really the only way to pinpoint it, okay? Now, keep in mind this young girl was very young, so she's not using her best judgment or discernment. And I'm sure that these two men knew that. All right. Again, she's a very sweet girl. She was very trusting. And then again, we do have to teach our children, our grandchildren, the children, not to be so trusting in this society because it's really, really bad, okay? The location doesn't help either because I already feel like these men were drunk or definitely doing some type of drug and drinking. She went to, I believe it was like a gas station or corner store or something like that. And this is where they meet, all right? And it's an unfortunate meeting. And there's some things that I did get that the men said or were thinking in their head. So it's kind of like they said it, but it's more in their minds is speaking. You know, when we think things, it's more like our mind is talking, okay? So I wonder if this is going to come out in the reading. If not, then I will just conclude it. You know how we kind of do things at the end. Those specific details. I'm very curious on what cards to use. So I'm going to use our Mystic Rose. And the reason I'm using Mystic Rose is, for one, it's just a great deck. Especially with these kinds of things, okay? These really dark things. And it has not steered me wrong yet. So there's also another great deck that I don't have up here. But Mystic Red is pretty good. I just get a young girl full of, full of life. We have the heartbroken card, deeply hurt and sad, feeling lost, grieving in despair, breakup. Okay, for one thing, she was lost. She had no idea where she was going, how to get there. Okay, with lighting changing and weird stuff going on for the moment. She was lured out by friends or this specific guy, okay? And we know how we were when we were young. We would talk to our friends on the phone. They'd be like, hey, so and so, you need to come out with us. How easily things could have happened to us. Yeah, because been there, done that, right? And it was by the grace that we were protected. But there's a couple times I know that we have snuck out, y'all. You know what I'm talking about. Or had somebody over. Or a couple people over that we shouldn't have, been doing. Okay. The butterfly. Evolving and growth. Next phase, healing, inner child, releasing the past. She's the child. She's wanting to release this past, y'all. What has happened. She's very aware of what has happened. Her transitioning, okay? Love, unconditional love. Self-love and wholeness, affection and attraction, selflessness. We've all been there around this age, okay? We're more about how we feel, fulfilling our wants and desires, okay? We have not matured into the point where we realize everything's not going to go our way. But when you're going through those stages, going into those teenage years, you're not understanding that to the fullest, okay? So what I do feel is that she felt like she was misunderstood in her household, which all pre-teenagers do. Most of them do. And that there's something lacking there. Okay, affection. I'm not putting the foreseers down or the parents, whoever. What I'm saying is this is how she kind of felt. All right. And again, most pre-teenagers do. A lack of attention. All right. Camera, reminiscing, making memories, learn from the past, perception. So yeah. I wouldn't even be surprised if these murderers didn't keep some type of, everybody's putting stuff on their phones now, y'all. Pictures or some type of souvenirs to remember this moment. Because let me explain something. This is kind of probably when I want to go into this, all right? And it's very rough to know what they were thinking and feeling because it's just terrible. But they knew they were taking a big risk because, mind you, this is a child. All right. But their ego, and because they have been doing drugs and drinking, they were convincing each other and themselves, if we play our cards right, we can get away with this. If we do everything to the T. They promised to take her somewhere. There's a trust thing here, okay? When she got into their vehicle, I feel moments later she knew something was wrong. All right? This is when she's starting to panic inside. She does not know what to do. So she's putting up boundaries and her feelings are hurt about this. Like, I just basically got set up. I trusted you guys. I feel there's conversation in this corner store, gas station, whatever this is, where they had earned her trust, maybe paid for her items and said, hey, we'll take you there. If you don't know where you are, we know where it's at. But she's upset about this, okay? As she should be. It's very scary. Because she realizes they're not doing what was promised. All right. Now, we already know how this ended. This is our death card. The relationship is over. No second chances. Grow and transform. What's dead is dead. So she knew when it got to this certain point in this vehicle, it's just going to be bad from there. I mean, she's this frail child with two grown men. Okay. And I do believe they had addictions. I do believe it's alcohol and drugs, codependent, obsession and restraint, possession and control, emotional block. This is one of their traits or both traits. Pictures. I'm going to say this again. I think there's some information or evidence in their phone. Looking at pictures, missing you, nostalgia, and making new memories. Okay, so this is people that do this type of thing and go back and kind of revisit it or show it off to sick other people that's like them. You know what I mean? Keeps it for themselves. Sabotage and rebuild, persistence, working on it, repairing, hammer. They tried to hide a lot of things. Healthy choices. Now, again, she's only 12. Yes, this could have been prevented, but we have to keep in mind this is a child. Being happier, love, and life. Saying, had she had made healthier choices, of course, this whole situation could have been avoided, and that's a fact. Let's see here. Love call, expressing love, messages of love, thinking of you, informing you. So this is between her and the young guy, okay? That's wanting her to come over at a late hour, knowing she wasn't supposed to be doing this, but hey. She was lured by someone, you know, she liked, she had a little crush on, whatever. Separation, sadness, bitterness, missing you, thinking about you, uncertain future. Well, this is talking about, of course, what happened. I don't know, I just wish somebody would have said, where are you taking her? What are y'all doing? Or like, just stop the situation, you know? Meeting and talking, savoring the moment, feeling elevated, building friendship. Well, this is where she was headed, she thought. All right, spend some time with friends or this specific guy. Now, as soon as she came on those premises where all this, you know, the meeting of the two men, they had been watching, looking, perceiving, and stalking the situation. Like, you know, this young girl's out by herself. It's like late at night. What's really going on? Now, there's going to be some things they're going to lie about. They're going to say, oh, we didn't know that she was that young. Oh, she was looking for a good time. Oh, all these excuses and lies to try to cover themselves, okay? Nobody's buying it. We know what you did to her. And believe me, I'm doing the reading so I know, okay? But nobody is going to buy that. You can clearly see this as a child. You could clearly see that night that she was lost and very distraught about the situation, okay? I just wish she would have talked to like one of the clerks or someone that said, let's call your parents. What is going on? You know, because this is terrible, all right? So they take her to this very secluded, quiet location, which we know where it was. It was, well, she was found in a very secluded, cut off location. Because at that time of night, nothing's really going on. All right. She was beat. She was SA'd. She was, this is just terrible. Taunted. I want to get a couple more cards. Learning, expansion, transcending, preparing for union, new phase. This is the part talking about the death transformation. And this is what I feel they're going to do. So we have the poker face. They were taking a chance with the risk and options. Not showing hand gambling. So we all know they said, oh, you know, you're safe with us. We're going to make sure you get where you need to go, blah, 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 blah. Also, the poker face is talking about when they're questioned, this bogus story they're going to come up with. But this isn't who they really are. They knew exactly what they were doing. They are predators. Excuse me. They've done it before. I'm not sure about murdering, but they sure have definitely taken advantage of other girls or women for sure. This is kind of their MO, and they've gotten away with it before. That's why they were like, if we play our cards right, you know. But see, what really hemmed them up was that surveillance. They didn't know that would come back to bite them, actually. Now, clock. They know they're running out of time. We got to do this before the sun comes up, before everybody's out being nosy, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So they were needing time for these cycles, and it takes time to do these types of crimes, okay? Because you don't want to make any mistakes. So they knew they were on a time schedule here. Because, of course, somebody's going to telephone in soon. Oh, you know, we don't know where our 12-year-old is. Okay. Lighthearted and in-depth, finding out change, things coming to a light and heal. Shock, sudden change, shocking news, surprise, and infinite transformation. This is the ending, and also when she was in the vehicle. Let me stop these cards here because it's starting to really get to me, and I feel like these cards are more talking about the predatorial feelings of the two men, and it's just, you know, they were very attracted to her, though, is what it's saying. And they kind of knew what they were getting ready to do, if you know what I mean. Okay? And they did trick her. They're older. We have the coffin card. New beginnings, liberation, reborn and transition, tragic endings as we know it. Terrible, terrible, terrible. It's terrible. It's just, didn't have to go that far. She's a really sweet girl, okay? But they didn't want to get found out, y'all, because, again, they've had prior situations. They're criminals. They're low lives. You know what I mean? I feel like one guy is not as evil as the other, if you know what I mean. The other guy was definitely talking him into it. And because I feel like one of the guys really kind of didn't want to do it. Or at least take this much of a chance. And the other guy's like, it'll be fine. Just, stick to the plan. All right. I don't know. I feel like there's a compression on her lungs. There's something about air being cut off, or yeah, something like that. And she's such a sweet girl. They really did her wrong, okay? Let me get these telepathy. Let me see what I can get. I'll do like 3 of those. Jocelyn Nungaray. Speed up and chase the results you want. I feel like this is talking about when she's in the vehicle. Illusion. Avoid the trap of mistaking fantasy for real soul connection. So this whole thing about helping her and who they were was an illusion. Attract. The appeal of soul pairing goes beyond superficiality. Okay. So again, how do you say, right? Without saying, they were attracted to her. The whole helping her thing, of course, was a trick. And when they were in the vehicle, I feel like they were driving really fast, I guess to make sure she wouldn't break the window or bang on the window or try to get out, or of course not too fast to draw attention. Let's see here. Surprise. You may be surprised. She was really surprised how this turned out. I think she was familiar with, maybe they spoke the same language. I don't know why her guard was so down. It's almost like uncomfortable around them for some specific reason. Are they from the same place? Are they speaking the same language? Has she seen them before? It's very odd that her guard was this far down, okay? Especially these days. I would have been terrified being out at 12 in the dark at a corner store or / gas station, y'all. Let me tell you. So let me see if I can get anything with our little cards over here. What could have transpired or... high places, okay. We took her somewhere, and I feel like that's the journey card, long distance. That yeah, they took her off somewhere, okay. There's the missing piece, and a deal made between the two. She was locked in the vehicle, basically locked in, couldn't get away. So she's telling me I spoke to them. Yes, I know there's like an exchange, a conversation. Maybe close to home. family again. I feel like something's going on with family. Maybe there were some arguments going on in the home. You know, she's going into her teenage years, you know. This happened at night. It's something where she felt comfortable with them, though. That's very, very odd. Something worth going back and looking into for sure. All right. These are just how she would have been murdered. Let's try our traveler card since she was out basically traveling that night. So these are the sacred travelers. I have gotten a lot of good information from these prior, especially with Baby Jane Doe of St. Louis. Okay, so let's see if we can get something here for Jocelyn Nungaray. Gates of triumph, success expands in your life. Taking somewhere, look at this place, right? There's an opening, but it's secluded. It's weird, okay? Stepping into power, you are strong beyond measure. So it has these two men here, and their adrenaline is just getting, I promise they were on something that night. More accelerated. Okay. Wondrous universe. Walk in beauty. This, I believe, is the ending, you guys. View from above. Get the big picture. She knew that she was far from home. This was like a dream to get back, okay? Valiant courage, take action with passion. This is the two men, their energy. Meaning courage, of course, they're not courageous men, all right? It's meaning that they knew they were taking a big chance, okay? A big risk. And something they were on just erased all that fear, okay? And they really took action with this, with passion, y'all. Like, this was going to get done. Breaking trail, a breakthrough is at hand. There's going to be a breakthrough. There's going to be information coming forward. There's going to be confessions. There's going to be things found out prior, okay? Two more cards for Jocelyn Nungaray. She was protected and is protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. That's sweet, and that's good to know. And that's what's going to bring justice. Vast vistas, expand your horizons. Saying, look beyond what you're being told. There's more to this thing. All right. And the last card is answering the call. The time is now. And I'm sure we all know what call that was. Being called home for Jocelyn Nungaray. Very sad, tragic ending. With no escape, you know. It's like she's this young, frail girl with these two guys that their adrenaline is like on 10. What can she really do, you know? And they were taunting her. I want you to keep that in mind when they're having their justice brought to them. All right. There's some type of compression again with her chest, or she can't breathe. And they did this so they wouldn't be caught, you know, or have to pay the consequences for it. But once again, they didn't know they were on surveillance. This is really sad. Because I'm piecing everything. Like, I can't imagine being 12 and looking out and knowing that home is so far away, right? That you're in this really bad situation that you may not come out of. And you know it's just going to be like some crazy ending. And I keep saying this in the readings, and I mean this in the readings, okay? We as a community got to start getting involved and getting nosy. Because people in that location where she was at could see she was lost, could see she was underage, could see she was upset, okay? And that's when someone or some people should have stepped in. All right? I know it's rough because you picture yourself going up to two, you know, guys that you could tell been drinking or doing something. And you say, you know, what are you doing with this little girl? It's very scary. You don't know how they're going to react. You don't know if they're going to do something to you to protect themselves from being caught or being found out about something. It's very scary. It is. But there's so many ways to go about it. Like maybe someone could have went back in and said, hey, she just left with two guys and it looks strange. I got the license plate. You know, yeah, this is stuff we probably should start doing because it's too much of this getting swept under the rug, okay? Too many young lives in this day and age are getting got like it's 1970 or something, y'all. And we've got way too much technology and way too much knowledge now to not step in. All right. So this is coming out. This is what the spirits want to get out about that particular night, about that particular location. More could have been done. Absolutely. Absolutely. And There's no way that someone thought that she was older. She looks her age. She sounds her age. You know what I mean? And instead of grown adults saying, wait a minute, what is this kid doing out here at night? And let me make sure that they get the safety that they need. You have monsters out here that take advantage of those opportunities, okay? Because we can't blame a 12-year-old girl for sneaking out at night. Because many of us in our teenage years or close to it did our share of sneaking. And like I said, it was by the grace that nothing crazy happened. To most of us, yes. So we have to keep that in mind, y'all. And we can't blame the young guy because he was young. I know he shouldn't have been telling her, come out, come see me at those hours. I know it. But he's a young guy. I know her friends shouldn't have been luring her out at that time, but they're young. It's really up to the older generation to take charge, to keep our children safe. No, I'm not saying you gotta be out here acting like you're Superwoman or Superman. That's not what I'm saying. But when you see the opportunity to put on the cape, put it on. Because you would want someone to do it for yours. All right? This is a very sad story, very sad reading, very sad event. There are a lot of things I cannot say on here that were said and done in this reading. And you could take that over YouTube, okay? But, and there's some things I don't want to get too deep into because it kind of disturbs some people and then it kind of rattles some cages with some people, you know what I mean? So there's things I have to kind of watch stepping on certain toes. And I have to keep in mind that she does have family. And things of that nature, okay? So I can't really go as far as I would like to go. But I think we get a picture in our minds, the horror that happened, okay, that night. And for me, of course, you know, and then being taunted on top of it. You know, I really hope they really do get their justice. And whatever lies they're going to tell y'all, which they're going to try to do to make it seem like they're not as bad as they are, but these are some bad people. They come from a bad childhood, bad families, who feel like this type of stuff is okay, you know? That a young girl being out at night is free game. And you have to remember these things are out here, okay? No, everybody's not going to be the same. No, not everybody is good. No, not everybody is evil. There is a balance. There's some that's good people, some that's evil people. But best believe it, we have evil people. And we've done these readings where we've proven that time and time again. And had more good people stepped in, a lot of these children in these readings will still be here with their children and grandchildren, okay? And there were good people that stepped in, even with the Wayne Williams, you know, the old woman that stepped in that night and held the little boy until Wayne Williams went away. Now that's what the little boy said to this day. Nobody's certain about that story. But there are heroes in this story, y'all. And there's heroes in others, readings and cases. And like I said, no, nobody's telling you to wake up at 6 in the morning, put your cape on, go out here and pretend you're a superhero fighting crime. But when we come across these situations, it's common sense. Common sense, okay? With that said, I thank Jocelyn so much for coming forward tonight with the reading and helping with the visions and answers. And Lord, yes, I see the visions and I can't say everything. I can't repeat everything because then you go into legal stuff, then you go into families, then you go into so many things, y'all. And I have to protect not only me, but, my platform. So, again, I know we get the gist. And, again, sad every time, all right, that these things are happening. And you got monsters out here. Instead of saying, let me call somebody for you or actually take you to a safe location, they do things like this. Very unfortunate. They got to protect the children, y'all. Enough is enough. Now, again, we got to keep in mind, we got different cultures out here. People from different countries who their laws are not as strict as our laws. They see things differently, different religions. They don't feel like, okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story to let you understand what I'm saying. So there's this guy, he has his own little thing where he goes around busting predators. And one of the guys was from China, older Chinese guy. And he was going to meet up with a 12-year-old girl. Okay? But I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm saying. So him and the guy finally have a conversation when he finally admits that he did this, because the guy had logs, proof, printed out pages where there's internet interaction, you know what I mean? So it's not like he can lie about it. So when the guy calms down, he talks to him and he says, listen, where I'm from, being with someone that young is not like a crime. But here in America, it definitely is. All right? So you have people from different cultures, different countries who this is not like the same to them. They marry 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. I didn't say it was right. Let's pay attention. I'm not condoning this in one way or another. It's wrong to me. Okay? But in other countries and cultures, this is true. Other religions. So the guy, even though he was really upset, he kind of had to say, now that is something to try to bring to an understanding, not condone. Condone is a whole different thing. Okay? But to this, man from China, and he's an older Chinese man, so he's with the older traditions, then it was not a thing. Okay? And no, I'm not saying it's right. It's terrible. What I'm saying is you got people out here who think differently than you do. You know, that are from different, again, cultures, countries, religions, who are just coming into American culture and they don't know or understand the boundaries, or they definitely better learn it. Yes, he still got arrested. Yes, he still got in trouble. Yes, this is wrong, what he was doing. I said it. But you have to realize when you open your door, there's all different walks of life out here. So we have to get involved, just like he got involved. Now, I'm not saying these two men didn't know better, but I do feel like wherever they're from, assault like this goes on. Is very common with young women and young girls. And it's not as strict of okay, you're going to jail, or this is horrible what you've done.